Hello folks and welcome back to Medieval Total War. I am Counterattack and this is going to be part 7 of my early campaign where I'm playing as Egypt. And in the last episode I was able to get boats in the water, and I'm now producing boats from my 5 coastal provinces, which does feel very good. And I already have this many boats going, and I'm making a bit of money now. Finally, I'm making over 2 grand per turn, and I am looking to increase that number. So I have still not fought a single battle yet in this campaign, and I'm looking to see how far into this campaign I can extend that. I am not looking to seek enemies. Now, you might think I might, feel a little desperate, considering my points are fairly low. I'm sitting at 13 points, and the Almohads and the Byzantines are both leading the campaign with 28 apiece. And then after them, we have the Italians, and then the Germans. And then the hold up here. Oh dear. Oh, Germans, what has happened? Oh, this is a civil war, isn't it? Wow. There's no way France could have taken that many territories off of them. I'm pretty sure France is at war with them, but there's no way they've taken all of these territories. Oh dear, those poor Germans. And then after them, we have Hungary as well, they're doing quite well. And yeah, we're in the pits. We're hurting, but I'm not too worried about that, because just to be able to direct my attentions and my force later on in this campaign, I need to build up a good base, a good economical base, and obviously a good navy as well. I'm not exactly neglecting my armies. I am training troops here in Arabia, but my current neighbors simply don't seem too threatening. The Turks do have an opening here in Arabia if they felt like this was an opportune target. I'm not really garrisoning it. I was hoping that they would take their armies to fight the Byzantines. They are at war with them, but currently, they just dealt with a pretty devastating civil war. And they're trying to recuperate from that. The Byzantines so this is like that one of the civil war rebel stacks holding Lesser Armenia. Now, the last I checked, the Byzantines do own Rome, which is a big blow for the Turks, but I believe the Turks still do hold Georgia and then Armenia as well as Edessa and Syria. So they're still in the game, but they need to redirect these forces off of my borders and towards the Byzantines, the gosh darn faction that they are fighting, Yeah, so hopefully they can get around to doing that. The Byzantines, though, are doing quite well. They were at war with a handful of factions. Let's see what they're at now. So currently it's just the Hungarians and the Turks. I believe they were at war with the Italians, but they seem to have gotten a ceasefire with them. And the Sicilians are gone. That was a really interesting thing. I'm actually sending my emissary to take a peek for me to see what has happened here, because that was so bizarre. For a moment there, the Sicilians were without Sicily and Malta, their 2 starting provinces, but they were still alive, and I didn't know how or where they were. Presumably they still had the province, but they were like under siege from someone, would be my guess. And I guess the main culprit would be the Byzantines, wouldn't it? Yeah, they were at war with them, weren't they? Yeah, I guess maybe the Byzantines just straight up took Sicily out. Maybe that's what happened, yeah. Well, they're doing well, and my dreams of a strong Turkish presence may have been shattered here, because yeah, that civil war really kind of hurt things. Now, a part of me wonders about the chances of me. There's an idea that I have of killing the Turks so that I can set up a faction reemergence in the future. A faction reemergence that would hopefully be in Byzantine territory, like Byzantine held Rum or Lesser Armenia, hopefully. And hopefully that Turkish reemergence would be strong enough to go after them, and not me, the faction in this theoretical scenario where I'm the one that killed them. But hopefully they would fight against the Byzantines, right, and be strong enough to do well. However, I don't quite have the means to pull this off. I'm not at the stage of the campaign yet where I can really project a soft power. And what I mean by that is like using agents to essentially undermine other factions' public order and their internal dilemmas. I can't really project that sort of power because I don't have the infrastructure yet. I'm not really producing agents yet at all. I can train emissaries, but I'm not training. Do I even have bishops? Yes, I can train LMs here in Egypt, and I could be doing that, but that's not really a priority right now. Yeah. So that's something that I can consider later on. Maybe keeping the Turks around so that maybe I can enact that plan when I'm better able to actually, make it work. That might be a solid idea here. But yeah, it's a little bit dodgy having the Turks so weak, just because the Byzantines, although they are seemingly doing okay right now, eventually Catholic crusades will be pouring through at some point, being targeted at my territories. And the Byzantines, now I know that they don't come out from the Crusades unscathed. I do know that they take an income hit, like their provinces get essentially sacked, I believe. In fact, for those of you who actually know more about this, do the Byzantines actually lose buildings by Catholic crusades passing through their lands? Or is it just like income which is taken from the treasury and brought to the Catholic faction? Is that what happens? Because I know when a crusade passes through Catholic territories, they hoover up and they vacuum up all of the troops, not all of the troops, but a portion of the troops in the local armies based on how much zeal is in that province. So if there's a lot of zeal, those armies will be losing a lot of soldiers to the crusade. However, for the Orthodox Byzantines, their troops are not going to be joining the crusade, but it's the money that gets hit. Do they lose the buildings, though? That's what I don't know. In any effect, though, it's going to be a bad one, right? The Byzantines would be losing something by having crusades pass through their lands. Now, another thing that I don't know is that I know for Catholic factions, they will always let crusades pass through their lands. Even if it's coming from a faction that they are at war with. For instance, if the French send a crusade and it has to pass through the German territories, the Germans will still let that crusade pass just because they don't want to incur the wrath of the Pope by being excommunicated. However, the Byzantines, does the AI always let crusades pass, or will the AI sometimes say, no, no, you may not pass, I will fight you, and just hold them up? Yeah, again, if you know the answers to these questions, I would like to know, because I know that technically they have the option to, but the AI, the Catholic, faction AI will never, ever stop a crusade, right? And I'm wondering if that's true with the Byzantine AI as well. Because if they let the crusade pass through, yeah, that crusade will be picking up a lot of money from the Byzantines, and that could potentially lead to a Byzantine collapse as well as like a Turkish collapse, right? So I could have some really weak northern neighbors here if that were to happen. And yeah, I don't know how strong that would be making the Western Catholic factions, but you can imagine they'd be getting some prestige, or not prestige, but influence, and that money as well. So, but they will not be taking my territories. Now, something I need to consider, that even though I am going full on with building boats and working on my economy, I can't fully neglect my military as well. I know that for now, Arabia is focused on building up my units, my actual soldiers. I am currently working on Saharan Cav, just so that I can get some decent light cav on the field in my armies. But I should also get some of these territories sort of leaning in that direction as well, so that when the time comes, when a crusade is launched in my direction, then I can kind of like switch it up so that I have maybe 3 or 2 provinces building boats, and then, 3 provinces training soldiers. And not just the 1 province here in Arabia training soldiers. So here in Sinai, I will be working on getting a Boyar's workshop built up so that I can eventually get Mamluk horse archers here in Sinai. And I should probably start thinking about doing similar things here in some other provinces and start looking at what kind of soldiers do I want to have trained up. Maybe Egypt. Egypt is going to be going Yeah, they're working on getting that Grand Mosque here in Egypt, so they're not really the one that's going to be getting military infrastructure until that task has been completed. They can train this for now. Urban militia, Bedouin camel warriors, Nubian spears, boats. Yeah, that's fine, I suppose, but yes, I'm going to want better soldiers by the time those crusades march up to my frontier. So yeah, I'm gonna have to consider, where do I want it? No one else gives any bonuses to soldiers here. Turcopolese is a Catholic unit. Turkoman Horse is a Turk unit. And then Knights Templar is a Catholic unit. And then, yeah, Mamluk Horse Archers, it's obviously my units. So that's the only one. Yeah, then Mamluk Cavalry here in Egypt. Okay. And then Arabia doesn't give any bonuses. Yeah, okay. So I guess maybe Nubian Spears, Desert Archers, Bedouin Camel Warriors, and Naphtha Throwers and Saharan Cav is maybe that's like a good enough foundation to combat early Catholic expansion efforts. Maybe it is. I'm trying to think of what immediate upgrade I would go for. I know that if I were to get up to the castle level here in Arabia, and I got the horse breeder, that I could get ferries, which is a decent horse archer unit. In fact, they're just a little bit better than Mamluk Horse Archers, I believe. I believe their charge bonus is better. And then I think Mamluk Horse Archers might have a slightly better base attack value. I think, maybe. Not quite sure. But the fact that the Mamluk Horse Archers get that +1 Valor bonus here in Sinai, I think slightly edges them out over the ferries. I think so. And besides, it's a castle level unit either way, I think. The ferries require a castle because you need the Swordsmith's Workshop, which is a castle level unit. And then the Mamluk Horse Archers. Can I see them here? No. Ferries and Zaris. Yeah, I wonder, what do I need to get Mamluk Horse Archers? Okay, so I just looked it up, and I need a Boyar's Guild, and then a Horse Breeder's Guild as well, which are tier 3 units. So I'm a little bit of a ways off before I can get those here in Arabia. I think that, you know, honestly, let's just get the farm upgrades out of the way. Because I think my army might be... The units that I'm training might be good enough for now. And then, yeah, I'm getting my trading post upgrades here in Tripoli and Antioch. Farm upgrades here in Palestine. And working on that castle here in Egypt. Trade is very high. Taxes are very high in each of my provinces. And, yeah, you're going to be spying on Rome for me. And then you are going to be checking out Sicily when you get a chance. But I want to keep an eye on my provinces and make sure that I am diversifying my ability to train units. Like, for instance, maybe I want to get a town watch and a spearmaker in Tripoli. Maybe I want to get a boyar somewhere, maybe in Palestine, for instance. Just so that I can, when the time comes, train out some decent stacks, decent sized stacks. And maybe also get one of these provinces focusing on agents, just so that when the time comes, I can maybe destabilize regions using spies and assassins and all that good stuff. So that's something that I will be looking at as I'm focusing on my building construction here in these territories. But for now, it is the year 1128, and what are we looking at? The next counting period is going to be 1150, so a little ways away. So until then, let's see, can I move these boats out? No, you've already moved, and then you have already moved as well. Okay. But soon we will have boats in the Black Sea, which is going to be giving us access to 2 more ports. And then we will get boats here in the Adriatic as well. And the Adriatic is like a gold mine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ports. Oh, that's going to be so good. Trading with all of that. Yep, we are going to be filthy rich. Oh, wow. I actually ran out of money. Okay. Got a little trigger happy there with my funds. And most charitable. So Abur El Mahdi. And you are not a governor or a general, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Yes, the Byzantines. I saw a counterattack by the Turks into Rum, which I think it was. I think they sent their Sultan actually, but he was beaten back. It appears. Yeah, that's too bad. Did this army get bruised up? Man, they don't have good stuff. You would think that the Turks could take this back. Yeah, maybe. I mean, they're both kind of low-tier armies, but still. I guess, you know, now that I'm looking at these armies, it might just be like the infantry, you know, the urban militia and the spears, quite frankly. Like, you wouldn't think that's a big deal, but in an auto-resolve, since it just calculates the melee capabilities, I mean, what counters cavalry and camels? Spears? Urban militia? Yeah, probably is good enough. You know, now that I am sharing the seas with Byzantine boats, I'm a little bit nervous because sometimes the AI, as I've talked about before, can sort of just start these naval wars for no reason. I mean, in fact, these Dromons are not good combat boats. They really should not be attacking my boats. Not that there's a huge difference, but there's enough difference for you, a smart person to like not attack, right? But sometimes the AI will just be kind of petty and just do that, and I'm a little nervous. I mean, I can outbuild them in boats, I'm pretty sure. My naval productions is enough to, you know, I can build up and beat their boats in combat, but these Dromons are so annoying because they're so fast and they can sort of escape regions in which they are attacked, and yeah, they can kind of just hang around and disrupt your trade, which for me could be pretty devastating at this point in the campaign. So I'm considering. I know I have been turning down the Byzantines up to this point, and I was trying to, in a sense, prop up the Turks, but it might be time for me to consider talking to the Byzantines. In fact, that might be what he's trying to do as well. They might be sending an emissary to try to do the same thing again. And yeah, I would accept that, I suppose, at this point. I think I want a peaceful Byzantium. I know that I will be tasked with taking Syria and then Odessa at some point. So I do need to break this alliance with the Turks at some point. And I have not gotten an alliance with the Almohads, knowing that I will be having to take Cyrenaica at some point as well. So yeah, I guess propping up a powerful, you know, Turkish neighbor was just a pipe dream. And just like that, the French have declared their first crusade. Yes, as marching towards my land. It looks like it's going to be targeted towards Antioch. Classic. Alright, well, bring it, France. Bring it. And what do we got? A builder. So this is a governor here. Plus 10 happiness for whatever province he is the governor of. It's not Tripoli. This is just the province where he is located in, I believe, right? Alright, we got a French crusade heading towards Antioch. And now that we have boats in the Adriatic, I love how getting navies in the water opens up vision on the map. It's just so nice. And up here in the Black Sea as well. Yeah. Ooh, Khazar. Oh, Khazar. Khazar Royal Cavalryman. What a cool looking unit. Yeah, quite dashing, I'd say. And yeah, the Byzantines with Crimea and Kiev. Wow, just interesting. Okay. And the Poles have Moldavia. And what do we got up here? Yeah, Hungarians in Croatia. Papal states, Italians. Yeah, the Italians just really struggle. They just like build really crappy armies, it seems like. I don't know. I don't really understand, but... And yeah, the Byzantines took Sicily, so that's what happened. Wow. Yeah, they took Sicily with a force that's not that scary. I mean, urban militia, Slav warriors, and archers and peasants took down Sicily. Jesus, man. I want to see. Oh, I can't go to Malta, can I? Oh, there's no port in Sicily. Okay, I can go back to Naples. Yes, so hopefully we can get that ceasefire with the Byzantines. Let's start sending some boats down the African coast as well. There are some ports down here. Yeah, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, Grenada. Yeah, we can. Yep, we can make some money this way as well. And also the Malta Channel. This is not like considered open water. This is also considered coastal because it technically does have coastland in the Malta Channel. So I can reach that with just my basic tier 1 dhows. And money is looking good, making five grand now. Yep, 5 grand with the Black Sea and the Adriatic. That's pretty hot. So as I was talking about before, now that the Crusade has been launched, maybe it is time to maybe not do boats in every province. Now Sinai, well, I can only do camels, urban militia, desert archers. So, okay, let's do some more camels here. In Sinai, Palestine, we can get the desert archers. And then maybe Egypt, once this boat is finished, we can move on to Nubian spears here. And then Arabia can keep on pumping out the Saharan cavalry. And Tripoli and Antioch can continue to work on building boats for now. And what buildings should I be getting here? Probably farm upgrades. Yeah. Farm upgrades are good. I also do want the curtain wall. This is the first tier defensive upgrade for Tripoli, and I think honestly, yeah, that feels good too. That's the one that's very good because it surrounds the it's the second wall, which is stone instead of wood, so they can only go through the gate. If they want to hack it down with their melee troops, they have to use the gate. And they can't just like burn down holes using fire arrows or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, that feels pretty good. And maybe doing the same thing here in Antioch. Yeah, let's do that. And then we can do farm upgrades afterwards. My Sultan is getting up there in age as well. He's 56 years old, so he's around the age where he's going to start thinking about dying. And this is his heir, Prince Mohammed, still relatively young. Loyalty is really bad, but he is a drinker though. So that's the one that, you know, come to think of it, putting him in the same stack as his dad, the Sultan, is a good idea, not just for the fact that his loyalty is so low, but also because you can only get more traits if you are the head of your stack. And you can't be the head of your stack if you're in a stack with the Sultan, right? So the only reason why his drinking habit hasn't gotten worse is because he's not the head of this army. However, when he does become the Sultan, he will be the head of the stack, and this will get worse. So yeah, that's unfortunate. It's going to go from like -1 command, which it is right now, to I think it goes to like -1 command and -1 acumen, maybe, which he only has 1 acumen, so that's my economy is going to get worse, and he's going to be he's going to be young by the time he becomes Sultan, so there's going to be plenty of time for his drinking habit to get worse. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, it's going to be an unfortunate rule under Sultan Muhammad once the time comes, but the time isn't yet. We still are under the capable hands of Sultan Al-Mustali II. The Rubaiyat. 'Tis all a checkerboard of nights and days, where destiny with men for pieces plays. Hither and thither moves and mates and slays, and one by one back in the closet lays. As well as a poet, Omar Khayyam is also a physicist, mathematician, astronomer, and intellectual. His presence dampens zeal in Turkish provinces, but grants governors +1 acumen. That seems like a net gain. That seems very good. And as with all of these messages that impact a certain faction's provinces, it's never really clear, like, is this the provinces that the Turks start with, no matter who holds it? Or is it all Turkish provinces, no matter where on the map the Turks hold these provinces? You know, that's kind of a question that I've had. I suppose with this one, it would be really easy to test. You just play as the Turks, get the message, and then see who gets the +1 acumen, right? So I guess that's easy enough to test. I just have not played as the Turks, but yeah, there's other messages like this that will increase or lower zeal, and you kind of have to just look around and be like, well, what does it look like happened? You know, it can be kind of hard sometimes to tell, but yeah, for this one, I don't know if that's, you know, this came a little bit too late, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to help out the Turks now. It might help them out. And what do we got? We got a Emir, a governor, plus 10% to agricultural production. That's a good one. That will boost the income from his province. And then the Sultan gets builder, plus 10 happiness in all provinces. Wonderful. Okay, so this is good news. The Byzantines have accepted my offer of an alliance, and they explain that we would be wise to make every effort to crush mutual enemies if the alliance is to last. Well, who are you at war with, my good sir? So yes, my ruler's wife has given birth to a son. And that's not, yeah, that's going to be Prince Muhammad's younger brother. Yeah, I got it. Yep. And let's see, what do we got here? So yes, I am going to choose the, I'm going to choose the Byzantines, yeah. Do you wish to remain allied to the Turks? No. What else do we got? Oh yeah, the Hungarians, right. I mean, the Byzantines have boats in the water. That's kind of my rationale here. So, yes, I will choose the Byzantines over them. And let's see, so Amir El-Ghazi of Aleppo, and he is now a magnificent builder. Plus 10 happiness, plus 2 loyalty. Good. All good stuff, and we are making a good amount of money, almost 5,500 per turn. That feels pretty good, sitting on 9,500 in the treasury as well. And do we have any eyes on a French crusade? Not quite, and that's kind of why it's nice having boats in the water so that I can see the coastal provinces, but you know, I eventually do want to have alims in every single province so that I can see all of this interior, you know, ongoings as well. Yeah, that's going to be very, very nice. But I think, you know, just prioritize the boats. Yeah, prioritize the boats. They make money and they do some scouting. Like, it's kind of a double purpose build. And the alims, it's nice, but it's a luxury. You know, it's not something that I absolutely need to have. However, you maybe go to Hungary and just keep a lookout for any French crusade coming away. You should be able to recognize them. They might look obvious to you. You know, they have a lot of snails with them. Just bringing a lot of snails on their way to the Holy Land. Just because we are no longer allied with the Turks, it's probably a good idea to start bringing a heavy garrison to Arabia. Just to make sure they don't attack us, you know, like, I don't want to give them any reason to. Hopefully they do just continue to focus on the Byzantines. But, yeah, it probably won't hurt to start bringing some soldiers on over to Arabia just in case. And the Almohads are matching my forces here in Cyrenaica. So we have 8 soldiers apiece on either side of the border. I do have the better general, though. But it's worth it to continue to monitor this. And yeah, the Malta, I just wanted to see what happened to the Sicilian garrison here in Malta. And yeah, they went bye-bye. Well, let's bring you on. Let's see, where do I want you? I kind of want Vision back in this area. So let's bring you on over to Lesser Armenia. Yes. And I want to continue to keep an eye on Rum in Armenia, since they are so close to my borders. And now my Sultan has died. Okay, so He probably, what, did he live to his 60s? He hung in there for a while. But now, ooh, disloyal generals. Oh no. That did not take long at all. Okay. Yes, and the Byzantines have good technology, good for them. And I did build the ballista towers in Tripoli and Antioch as well because I could not help myself. And what do we have here? Amir al-Adil, a great builder, +10 happiness, +1 loyalty. And you do not matter. Okay. All right. Yes. So my new Sultan, 4 influence. You would think that that's okay, you know? Yeah, you would think that 4 influence is okay. Yeah, you're down to 1 loyalty, so you need him there fast. And in fact, can I like get you to not be the general? Okay, so 5 loyalty. That's better. That's better. What about you? You're fine. And then I can, Jesus, okay, let's do that and hope for the best. Yes, awesome, good. So that loyalty is fine, and that guy you can bring you over. Let's bring you over as well, and you, and you. All right, so this should stabilize. Your loyalty is fine, and what about these guys? You're fine, and then you're fine. Okay, everything is fine. Everything is back to being okay. You can go there. Ooh, you're not fine. Okay, can I bring you out and put you back in? Does that work? Nope. Can I forget how this works. Let's see. So if I have you guys in a stack and then put you in afterwards. Nope, that didn't do it. Okay. So it's because he's a more like what is it called? Like a better status soldier. He's cavalry. So he's gonna have better status than the infantry. So if I take you out, then that's fine. Okay. Okay, that should be fine everywhere, I think. Income 5.5, that looks good. Any French Crusade? Aha, yes, here we are. The French Crusade is here in Hungary. Yeah, they're picking up some Zekulis from the Hungarians. They have some Teutonic Sergeants, which is a decent heavy cav unit. Not a knight, but you know, it's heavy cav. And then Royal Knights, a couple units of those. There's the early form of them. Some horse archers, some archers. I'm guessing the horse archers are also from the Hungarians, as well as the armored spears. The order foot soldiers, now these are good, very, very good units. I think they're equivocal to the chivalric sergeants. So they're very solid spearmen. Yes, they have mounted crossbows as well. Feudal sergeants, militia sergeants, feudal men-at-arms, some jobagis, another Hungarian unit, some fanatics as well, hoblars, and then down here, pretty trash, urban militia, peasants, Slav warriors. How's their general? Just a 0-star? Just a 0-star, eh? Okay. Sir Gaspard de Vendôme. Well, bring it. Bring it, dude. Because I think that they also begin to lose soldiers as they pass through Byzantine territory, right? Because they can't hoover soldiers up. I believe they start to like leak soldiers as they go through. I'm not 100% on that. But they have some territory to get through before they get to me. 1, 2, 3, and then however they want to go about this. They could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns until they get to me. Well, I'm pretty set on being ready by the time they come. Although, I mean, I have been sending the troops that I was training to meet the Crusade to Arabia to kind of hold on Arabia, but it should be fine. I mean, I have stacks I can pull from anywhere along. You know, I can pull stacks from Tripoli or Palestine or Arabia if I had to. If the Turks see an opening and decide to take it, that's, you know, okay, fine. I'll just have to fight the Turks too. You know, although it would be a good shout to get some more farmland improvements here in Antioch and Tripoli just because the farm income is so good in these provinces. I'm considering going for a dockyard just so that I can just essentially rush Bagalas, because Bagalas, unlike the caravels for the Catholics, do not require the compass event. So I can essentially get full sea control with Bagalas earlier than the Catholics can, which is a really, really good power to have. And I should exercise that power, I think. So let's get some dockyards in. It's going to take 6 turns to build. Okay. And then, yeah, get some Bagalas in the water. It's a good boat. It can fight pretty well, better than a dhow. And I believe the support cost is cheaper as well. It took me a while to realize why the support cost was cheaper for the better boats in this game than it is for the galleys. And then I was reading a little bit about boats, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's because you don't have a full crew of oarsmen to feed, essentially, right? And that's like why the switch was made. You had more room to carry stuff because you didn't have to carry food for a full complement of oarsmen. The downside of that was that like the oarsmen also could be made as to be fighters, not slave oarsmen, but like there were professional oarsmen crews for certain nations, like Venice is one of them. And I think it was pretty common, actually. I think most navies had professional oarsmen crews that, you know, also coupled as fighters / Marines. But, you know, you had to feed them. You had to hold food for those oarsmen. So you had to kind of keep operations closer to the coast for that reason. And yeah, being able to have these boats that could operate in deeper water, not just because the water is deeper, but just because you could you didn't have to use up room in your hull to hold food for the crew. You could just run the boat on smaller crews. And that's why the sailed boats kind of took on over, is my very rudimentary understanding of the evolution of boats. But yeah, so you will see that with like the tier 2 boats where the upkeep is much lower than, so the support cost is 20 for the dhows. And I think we're going to see like support costs of maybe 12 for the Bagalas, perhaps. Yeah, that shocked me for years. I was like, why is this? Why did Creative Assembly do this? Turns out Creative Assembly knew what they were doing. Like, yeah, that's just how boats worked. Now, it is worth keeping an eye on the new Sultan. So, influence of 4 is okay. It should be okay. And he does have 2 brothers and Prince Asali. And let's see where he is. So, he's up here in Tripoli. Yeah, he's 2 stars. Okay, he's not in charge of the... Okay, he's not leading the stack. Amir Al-Adil is leading the stack. Got it. Okay. And then who is the other one? Prince Ali. He's 10 years old, so he is going to be the youngest brother. And then Prince Al-Adil, I believe, is my new sultan's son. So he's not going to be of age for another 13 years. Okay, so that's fine. My sultan will definitely live to see his son come of age. Okay, without further ado, let's keep moving on here. Ooh, okay, the Turks are going in for an attack on Arabia. Might get our first battle of the campaign. The Byzantines, okay, so this answered the question. Very interesting. Yes, so the Byzantines have decided to not let the crusade pass through their territory. With that being said, though, they couldn't fight the crusade, so they had to retreat. I think that's what this message indicates, right? Otherwise, it would have just said the Byzantines let them pass, right? Okay, I think I'm reading that right. Yeah, Arabia invaded. I don't know if I'm quite... I was moving troops on over to garrison Arabia, but I don't think I'm ready for this. Actually, looking at the forces, maybe I am. Maybe I am. That is bolstered by 2 units of peasants. So the real numbers would be like 580 versus 775. What do they have for reinforcements? So they have a unit of 28 peasants as well. They have a 4-star general, which is a unit of Ghulam cavalry. That's going to be kind of the scary thing, but honestly, my Bedouin camel warriors should be able to, kill that Gulam bodyguard. Not even like all 4 of them. I just mean like, you know, 1 or 2 of them should be able to beat that Gulam bodyguard unit. And then what about the rest? So 4 desert archers. What are they? Okay. Ooh, okay. This is the scary. Okay. Yep. 2 units of Armenian heavy cav. That's scary. Yeah. 4 units. This is going to be a good contest, I feel like. Even that is, if I decide to fight this, I could just retreat to my fort and then perform a counterattack. I could just do that. That is an option. 2 units of Armenian heavy cav, Gulam bodyguards. Because I'm also looking at these units as well. The 2 units of Turkoman horse are also decent fighters. They are essentially a hybrid like cavalry horse archer unit. And then we have 2 units of Bedouin camels themselves. So they're not, you know, naked in the camel department. They definitely have camels to boost their forces up. And I guess I have an advantage with the archers. Maybe. I don't know. Now that I'm looking at it. 2 Turkmen horse archers. And then basically 3 units of horse archers. Then a half strength unit of regular archers. And some more desert archers, which are kind of beat up. I don't know. Their skirmishing might be okay as well. Huh. Yeah. I mean, they don't have much infantry, but I only have my 1 Nubian spearman as well. And I don't have a started general. I don't know who's going to be in command of this army, actually. Amir Abu Inan. Who is that? Can I see? Is it you? No. Okay, I can look at my guys' names. Amir Abu Inan. Oh, it's you. It's the peasant. It's okay. Oh dear. Oh well. I mean, I was gonna keep the peasant out of the fight anyway, but yeah, I don't know. This doesn't feel. I don't feel like I have the matchups here. I feel like I should just retreat to the stronghold and then counterattack. That seems like a wiser choice. Yeah, so whatever building was being built in Arabia, I think I was working on some more farmland improvements, which yeah, it does suck to get that interrupted, but you know, why fight a battle that you're not going to win? This doesn't seem winnable, so let's just retreat to my stronghold. That's the point of it. So I have lost Arabia, but I will get it back. And the King of France has died. Oh, okay, that's not good timing. Depending on the next King of France's influence, because if their crusade does not fail, he is going to be losing influence that his dad started, from a crusade that his dad started. All right, horse farmers finished here in Sinai. Now we can farm some horses. Hell yeah. And treaty canceled. All right, so is... The Turks no, the Poles are choosing to be allied with the Turks over me. Okay. Lame. Same with it. What, really? The Italians, too? And the Holy Roman Emperor? Why? Why I choose the Turks? Why do this? Why did they do this when the Turks attacked me and not the French? Oh, the French... Right, everyone's at war with the French, that's why. Well, I mean, there's nothing here that's going to stop them. The Byzantines didn't even, retreat to the castle. Like, they just straight up, just abandoned Bulgaria completely. Wow. Wow. Huh. Well, I mean, they're just going to continue to march on through. So they're not going to keep Bulgaria, obviously, but... Yeah, interesting. And the Byzantines do have some forces up here in Lesser Armenia and Rum. Okay, well, I think I should just counterattack quickly. Yeah, no reason to waste time here. So let's pull my soldiers together. Maybe leave enough soldiers behind here in Palestine to potentially defend against this. It wouldn't take much. There's really not much here in Syria. But I am thinking I can go right back into Arabia and take that province back. Now, this episode might end up going a little bit over my intended time limit, but you know what? I kind of do want to take Arabia back, and that might involve having to fight for it. In addition to that, I feel compelled to carry on with this episode just a little bit longer, just because I myself am not going to be able to record another episode at all for this campaign or any campaign on this channel for quite some time. I am in the process of recording all of these episodes and uploading all of these episodes before I go on a short little vacation, and then I'm going to come home and just go right on into a six-day work stretch, 6 days in a row. And then I get 1 day off, and then I think I work another 6 or 7 days in a row. So I'm going to be very busy in the last week of September, and then the first week of October. I'm going to be, and then October and November is just going to be insane for me. Just really, really insane with my work. So yeah, this is going to be busy season. I'm just going to be so mentally and physically burnt out. You know, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot for me. So I'm just, part of me is kind of dreading it. My job can be fun, so that part's fun, and making money's fun, but oh man, the physicality, you know, I work in music venues, so it's just a lot of running around, and yeah, so that's going to be me and what I'm dealing with. So I'm kind of like hanging on to this episode as my last, like, this is it. I'm not going to be playing Total War for a while. Now, you folks are not going to hopefully have to experience that long break because I've uploaded these videos ahead of time. I just hope that by the time you've watched this last episode here, I hope that I've gotten back around into the swing of things with recording more episodes. So hopefully you folks don't have to experience that break. But for me, yeah, it's going to be like 2.5 weeks before I get to play any more Total War. So I'm going to miss this. So let's play, with that being said, let's play one more turn, and we might get our first battle of the campaign in this episode. Or they might just withdraw from Arabia. How about that? So let's send my assault in. Maybe fighting a battle will solve his drinking problem. You know, it usually that can work, right? Let's send him in here. Yeah, desert archers, Nubian spears, Saharan camels, just the basics. I don't have any naphtha throwers available. They're all here in Antioch, so yeah, no naphthas. Should I bring urban militia as well? Just like one. Just maybe one urban militia. They do have the Armenian heavy cav. Which, do they? Wait, they have them, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think they're relatively well armored, and same with the Gulam bodyguards. I think they also have decent armor stats. So having like one unit that can chop through armor might be okay. And then we can bring these units from Sinai as well. And then these units can sally out. And yeah, I think other than that, I think I'm ready to go here. I moved my emissary to Armenia up here, and then we're going to just hang out in Hungary for now, maybe? Maybe not. I mean, I've already seen the French Crusade pass on through, so I don't really need to track them down. Let's just see what's going on in... How bad do the Germans have it right now? Like, how are they just really suffering? Yeah, they don't have it. They got... Oh, God, the poor Germans. And what about the English? Have they lost, like, everything? Yeah, they lost Wessex. All they have is Northumbria and Mercia. Oh, God, it sucks. Oh, the French just dominate. It's just wild. Their starting position does not seem strong. It's weird. It really is a weird thing how well they dominate. I think it comes down to the personalities, because the factions all have different personalities. I think the English personality is way too passive, just kind of like the Shimazu in Shogun Total War, where like they just never do anything and they end up losing. And I feel like the English are like that in this campaign, where even if they get a powerful faction reemergence, they still don't do anything. And the French, on the other hand, start off with a bad starting location. Their provinces are kind of split up, and still, I think they just have a really aggressive AI personality, so they end up just doing well because they're attacking, which is kind of what you should be doing. So that's my guess as to why the French do so well. All right, enough dilly-dallying. Let's drop a save. Let's end this turn, and let's see if the Arabians, let's see if the Turks want to defend Arabia or if they just want to retreat. I wouldn't be surprised if they retreated. And yeah, looks like they might have retreated. Yeah. Okay. Yep, and the Byzantines are going to retreat from Constantinople as well, but they're leaving a garrison here in the settlement this time. And yes, the Turks did retreat from Arabia, so we still will not be getting our first battle in this campaign quite yet. But we took back Arabia, and yes, the Germans are happy. They're happy, I guess. And their emperor is here in Bohemia, so we know that much. The Almohad Khalifa has died from an illness. And one of my generals has died of old age. Baybars Asali. So that's going to be that 4-star up here in Antioch. Castle finished here in Egypt. So now we can finally start working on the citadel. And just get just a little bit closer to getting that Grand Mosque finished here in Egypt. Expert attacker. Ooh, Nur al-Din. Oh, cool. We have a new historical general. Oh, sweet. It's a 6-star. Awesome. So I actually know this one. This is rare. I actually know a little bit about history. But like he's a super famous one. I believe he's not the dad of Saladin. He's the ruler that Saladin's dad, or no, not the dad, but Saladin's uncle. It was Saladin's uncle, then Saladin himself, who worked for Nur al-Din. And Nur al-Din was the guy that, it wasn't Aleppo, was it? Was Aleppo his province that his like city that he expanded from? I can't quite remember, but he kind of like started the pushback against the Crusaders that Saladin eventually kind of completed, and not completed. It was Baybars from the Mamluks that completed it, but Saladin actually started to turn the tide. But before him, it was like Nur al-Din that started to turn the tide. So he's a pretty famous dude. Yeah, 6 stars. He's in a unit of Saharan Cav, which is fine. That's fine. At least he's mounted. I hate it when the historical generals are like in a unit of urban militia. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 5 loyalty, 6 command. Jesus Christ, an expert attacker. So he's an 8-star general when he's attacking. Yeah, 5 dread. I think that fits. Nur al-Din was not like a Saladin. This guy was not like Saladin was like known for his chivalry. Nur al-Din was not. I think he did some pretty skeezy stuff. I can't quite remember. I think the way that he took Damascus was kind of tricky. Like politically tricky. I can't quite remember. Yeah, so his piety might be a little bit high, but I think it was his dream to have like Muslim unity against the Crusaders, so maybe the piety, maybe having 4 piety is okay. Yeah, maybe I'm just being too hard on him. But yeah, 4 acumen's good. Maybe I will make him the new governor of Arabia now that I need a new governor for this place. Yeah, that's an option. That is going to be an option. So yes, the Turks abandoned Arabia without a fight. So their forces are going to remain intact to potentially, who knows, do what? Attack the Byzantines would be nice. Yeah, we have a French crusade just turns away from me. Okay, yeah, things are now getting interesting, and this is going to be time for me to put this campaign down for 2.5 weeks. Oh god, waiting that long, I don't know, it's going to suck, but you know what? Until next time, I hope you've enjoyed this one, folks, and thank you very much for watching. This has been Counterattack playing Medieval Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.